Okay, I think we're live. Awesome. How you doing?
I'm good, mate. We got the red light. It's happening.
It's happening. Rob Lane from Straight to Video played with the Bulletboys, Jetboy, Ryan Roxie, Teenage Casket Company, which I'm getting more into now that I actually
thank you, mate.
I interviewed your buddy, the other Rob Wild.
Yeah, he's just got his new album out with Midnight City. You got the scoop on that as well. I think you got like a Hurley heads up and a listen to it.
Yeah, that was cool. Yeah, because he reached out to me and I was like, I was so busy. I was like, dude, I can't right now, but like, let's stay in touch and we'll try to do it later. And then I was just like looking for guests and I was like, oh, I should have the Rob guy. Well, we talked about it at Rockin' Pod. I was like,
Yeah.
I should have him on. And then I reached out and he goes, yeah, I've got a new album coming out. I'm
Perfect,
like,
mate.
So yeah, it worked out great. And yeah,
he's
really
smashing
nice.
it, dude.
Yeah, I love that band, the Midnight City. But I really like the Teenage Casket Company stuff too. If people go back and check that out, that's a hidden gem. It really is.
Yeah. When the people who got it. But I think you said to Rob it was too glam or too pop for the punk crowd.
See,
and
that's
too
the
punk
thing. Yeah, because I love both. So I get it. If you're like a hardcore, more pop punk, you're like, ooh, this is too glammy. And if you're hardcore glam, you're like, well, this is too pop punky. But yeah, for me, I was like, this is perfect. I love both those genres. So it's like amazing. And you
how you been doing anyway? What's the t-shirt you got on?
Oh, it's a band called Vigil of War.
Nice. You been to see him live or just someone you've been listening to?
I did actually. Yeah. Well, I'm trying to remember. Somebody like mentioned them on my podcast. So I went in and I listened to some and I was like, oh, this stuff's good. So I had the singer bass player. She also plays in, oh shit. What's that band that Dragon Force? She plays bass in Dragon Force. And this is like her kind of side project, I think, that she fronts, but they're really cool. They're kind of melodic, heavy punk metal kind of stuff. It's cool. Yeah, I like it. She's cool. And then yeah, we saw them live. It's one of those concerts like where it's just like a small venue and a small band, so you can just get right up close to the. And I didn't even pay for the tickets. I told her, I go, hey, I tried to pay for the tickets and nobody would take my money. And she goes, oh, that's okay. We got a flat rate to be here. So and then I bought it. So yeah,
excellent stuff. So how's everything going, mate?
Great.
Staying busy. You've been like churning stuff out. It's great.
Yeah, I've been trying to make content without guests because I can't find any guests. You having that issue too? You're only going once a week, so it's a little easier.
Yeah. It's still tough though. But then every now and again, like all of a sudden a bunch of interviews will come in at once and I get stressed out because I'm trying to prep them all and stuff like that. But it's fine as long as I can keep hitting that once a week. But I'm trying to do like what you're doing. I'm trying to move more into YouTube, but that's a bit scary territory for me.
I know. It's like, I think the thing too is like, I feel like, so it was like podcasts and I feel like that's the hardest thing to get ahead in. And then YouTube is like second, it's easier. And then like the easiest is probably TikTok. And I'm like, I'm hesitating. I mean, I'm on TikTok. I do the clips of my podcast, but I think I need to do more stuff like this on like solo material, but you got to edit it down and it's got to be like 30 seconds or something. And so it's just hard for me to like do all that cutting. And I like having a more, drawn out discussion and really delving into things. I think that's a problem with social media is like, you don't get enough information. People just watch these 30-second clips and they think that's the story. And it's like, they're missing so much. So
it's like all those clickbait headlines.
Yeah, exactly. There's so many people. I know people that tell me, they're like, oh, I don't even read the article. I don't have time for that. I'm like, you're missing a huge piece of the story if you don't read. Like the headlines usually just clickbait and you're like, oh my God, this person did what? And then you read the article.
People just respond to that headline.
Yeah.
You look down the comments.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Something happened in the UK today with like a TV presenter. They put some newspaper put his photo on the headline and put like TV news reporter. I don't know. Just it sounded really. Our term is ropey or dodgy. I don't know if you say that or not. And he had to like reach out to me. He says, "Can you change this headline? People think it's me." And everyone was just responding to the photo on the headline without reading the article.
Oh crap! Yeah, there's so much stuff like that. It's crazy.
It's nuts, man. Crazy stuff.
So what do you guys do? Because I was thinking about sending you. I see all these memes for 4th of July. I was like, oh, I should send this to Rob. And I'm like, do you guys? Is there any talk of that in the UK? Do you guys like get that kind of shit, or do you guys make fun of the 4th of July? Or
no one mentions it at all. It's weird. Yeah. Yeah, you can fire all that stuff over to me, though, mate. I'll take it all.
I don't know why. Every time I see something like that, something about like have fun working today, Britain, and I'm like,
I saw that one. I think that's the first time I've seen that one after all this time. I thought that was great.
Yeah, I saw a lot of them this year. For some reason, I don't remember seeing that many, but this year there was a bunch of them, and I was like, I should send this to Rob.
What did you do for 4th of July?
Dude, I think it's like one of the dumbest holidays, though, really, because I mean, it's great. I love America and everything, but it's like, yeah, like the fireworks thing. I'm kind of like, you've seen one firework, you've seen them all. So like, I don't really want to go. So we did a day trip up to this town called Prescott because, it's like 115 here, but in Prescott, it's like, it was like 85 or something. It was a lot cooler. And so we just went up there and we walked around, had dinner. And then my girlfriend's like, oh, do you want to go to the fireworks show? And I'm like, no, we just go home. So I don't really care because we saw some fireworks as we were driving, and we got home. We could see them from our house. Like,
mate, if you think fireworks suck in the US, you should see some of the displays over here.
Oh, really?
People in the backyard. It's just like the odd banger going up, like bang.
And what do they do fireworks for there?
We have November the 5th. That's when Guy Fawkes tried to blow up the Houses of Parliament.
Okay.
That's the story. And so I don't know if it happens as much now, but we have fireworks. But we also have a bonfire as well. So we make a huge bonfire, and they get like a mannequin or a doll of Guy Fawkes and throw him on the fire.
What? That is awesome.
Yeah. So imagine, like, you put the fairy on the top of the Christmas tree.
Yeah.
On the 5th of November, we get a Guy Fawkes, put him on the top of the bonfire and set it alight.
Why have I never heard of this? It's
like the Wicker Man.
Oh, yeah. Like Nicolas Cage, that movie.
But I think someone might be able to correct me, but what was the is it V for Vendetta? That kind of thing. That's like about a bomb plot for Parliament, something like that. I don't know along those lines.
All right.
But yeah, look up Guy Fawkes. Remember the 5th of November.
Okay. Yeah. See, I'm terrible at history. I did not pay attention in high school. I just cheated off like a smart kid and got
you Americans are smart on your history. I think us English are a little bit dumb on history stuff.
Really?
Yeah. You Americans.
You should come to America and talk to some people about it. We should do like we could get a microphone, do like a man on the street interview.
I've seen some of them. They're good.
Oh God, those are so embarrassing. Like I think Jay Leno used to do it, and I think he got the idea from Howard Stern, though. I feel like Howard Stern was one of the first people to do that kind of stuff. And a lot of Americans don't know, especially this generation. No offense to them, like, if any are listening, but they are not real versed in history, I don't think.
Superb. What other gigs you got coming up? You finally got to see Ugly Kid Joe.
Yes, that was amazing. I mean, I got the poster. I got a hat. I got a T-shirt. It's
he was like, give me all the swag.
I mean, I felt bad because it was only $20 a ticket, and I was like, dude, I would have paid like $100 for this, but it was $20, and I saw them with Fozzy and Pistols at Dawn, and
you saw them with PJ Farley. That's what you saw.
Yeah, PJ Farley. Yeah, I was like, I had that guy on my podcast, and I had the drummer from Pistols at Dawn. They were cool, and then but I guess like people met up with the bands outside later, but I was like waiting near the stage, and they never came out, and I was like, I guess we're not doing a meet, because I would have paid for a meet and greet. They didn't even have it, and then I guess the meet and greet was just down by the buses, but because it was like this upstairs venue, and I think it was downstairs where the buses were. And I think people met up, but that was a good show. Did you go to Def Leppard? What did you do?
I went to Def Leppard are doing the Motley Crue Def Leppard Stadium tour at the moment in Europe, but Def Leppard announced not a secret gig, but a warm-up show in Sheffield, where they're from.
Yeah, because that's what you're telling me about, I think.
Yeah, in a club called the Lead Mill, which has been threatened with closure because of all COVID. Lots of venues closed, and the Lead Mill was one of like these iconic venues. I'm trying to think an example in the States. It's kind of like, let's say, the Roxie on Sunset Strip, but
or the Whiskey,
Sheffield.
One of those old kind of clubs that's been like I feel like the Rainbow. I hope that I mean, that's not really a club; it's more a restaurant bar, but I hope that doesn't go anywhere because there's so much history there.
Yeah. So the Def Leppard announced a gig, like a fundraising gig for the Lead Mill. So they're going to do it as like a warm-up show as well. So it was 850 people, I think, for a Def Leppard show, which is pretty intimate for a Def Leppard.
Yeah, and you got to go to that, right?
Yeah. I managed to get tickets for it. So me and my friend who I went to school with, and he was one of the first people who got me into Def Leppard. So it was cool for us to go and do that.
How did you get the tickets? Is it hard to get that?
To be honest, it was really easy. And
Really?
I think one of the reasons it was easy is because rather than going through like Ticketmaster, it was just through the venue website. So it was just a matter of just being there at 9 a.m., refresh, and we got them straight away.
Okay.
But I love Def Leppard. They were like, I don't know, they were probably the first band that got me into hard rock. But I don't listen to them that much. One of those bands which I've listened to over and over. Like I know every note on Hysteria. It's ingrained in me. So I was looking forward to it, but I wasn't like bouncing. But when they came on, I got a little bit emotional.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I bet. Like they were really good. I saw them on the stadium tour. I don't think we stayed the whole time. They closed it, but I mean, they sounded amazing. They came on and the first song or two was a new song, but I was like, oh, I really like this new stuff. Cause I mean, you've heard all the other Love Bites and all the other stuff. You've heard those songs a million times, but I kind of like new stuff, and their new stuff sounds like classic Def Leppard, but it's new.
Yeah.
So.
They always have, I don't think many of those kind of bands are ever going to do like, I mean, you might disagree, but I don't think many of them are going to do like a solid album top to bottom, like
Probably
all
not.
hits.
Well,
but
Motley
with Def
Crue
Leppard, there's
doing a
always
new
like a
record.
good track on there. There's always a good few good tracks.
Yeah, Motley Crue's doing a whole new record, I think, right?
With Bob Rock as well, I think. The producer.
But it's not Mick Mars. Like I would think they would have at least seen. I think that's part of the problem with this lawsuit, because Mick Mars is saying like, "Hey, I could have still made the album with you guys." Like,
I just retired from touring.
Yeah, he is a huge part of the sound, the guitars. So I don't know. It'll be interesting. I feel like here's my prediction: is it's not going to sound like Motley Crue. It's basically going to be like Nicky's 6 a.m. modern rock kind of thing that he wants to do. And it probably will be cool, but I don't think it's going to sound like it's not going to sound like Dr. Feelgood. I mean, if it did, that'd be amazing. But
yeah, I don't think we're ever going to know what the real reasons are behind that whole Motley Crue thing. It's quite strange. But yeah, it's like I could see why everybody became Team Mick, because like the original thing was, I'm just quitting from touring, so I'm still a member of the band. I'm just not physically able to tour. And then all of a sudden, we're doing a new record with John 5, our new main guy. So who knows?
Yeah, I don't know. I've heard rumblings that was Nicky was kind of planning this already. That's why he did that. What was the band that he did with he did another band with John 5. It was like the Rats in the Street, or what was it called?
Wow, I've not heard that.
Yeah, they just Boom City Rats or something like that. It was like a side thing. They just did like one song, and it was like Rob Zombie, John 5, Nikki Sixx, and like it was kind of like an all-star. I think they did a cover of I've Been Everywhere, something like that. And I think that was kind of like a test. Like, let's see how I mesh with John 5. And then I think he kind of orchestrated this, supposedly. I mean, that's the rumor that I've heard from behind closed doors. That was kind of a test to see if John 5 was good. And then they maybe have pushed Mick out the door. I don't know.
That's weird. Did you ever hear the album Nicky did years and years ago called 58? It was like before Brides of Destruction. That was a good album. I like that.
Yeah, the song To Slit Your Wrist By, which is not PC, but yeah, it was a good song.
Yeah, I really enjoyed that album. That was really, really cool.
Yeah, I think I got a bootleg of that. I think that was one of those things I got on like Napster, because I feel like I couldn't find that album anywhere. I don't think they had it at the record store here, but yeah, I liked it. I liked the songs that I heard. I mean, I don't know if you saw that live stream I did about Motley Crue, but I talk about how many Motley Crue things, like how deep of a fan I am. I had the 58. I had all their solo stuff, all the little side projects, Brides of Destruction. I had the Motley Brew, the drink. Did you ever see that?
I don't think I saw that.
Oh yeah. So my parents recently moved, and the bottle of Motley Brew was like in my childhood bedroom. My brother's like, I saved it for you. And he sent me a picture. So I gotta get it so that people believe me that. But yeah, it's just like blue drink that it looks, I guess it turned your mouth blue or something. I never opened it because I was like, I want to save this. This is like amazing.
I'll show you something as soon as you're talking about drinks. Bear with me a second.
All right. I'll just I feel like that spot in Wayne and Garth, the Wayne's World, where Wayne and Garth, and like Wayne leaves and it's just Garth, and he's like by himself, and he's trying to.
Now, I was cleaning my attic the other day and I found this, which is some virgin cola, but it's I don't know if you can see it or not, but It's a Pamela Anderson.
Wow.
It's called The Pammy.
Have you seen that movie about her?
I saw the documentary.
Yeah, the new one that just came out.
Yeah, she's great, man. I think she's awesome. But this is.
I feel bad for
her. Yeah, she's in a good place though now. I think she's kind of.
It's
she's
interesting
really
though. When you think about that, like I also just watched the. Have you seen the Brooke Shields documentary?
No, I've heard about it though. That sounds really interesting.
That one's even more fucked up because she was a kid and they made her do all these like kind of like sexual things when she was like 10 and stuff. It was really fucked up. And then her mom was like an alcoholic and it's like really sad. And then it's just weird how, I mean, not to get all PC, but it's like, it is like sad how some women were in Hollywood are treated, you know, it's like, you don't think about it when you just like, when you're a kid and you're just watching movies and stuff. But then when you see this behind the scenes stuff, you're like, oh shit, that's probably not good.
She did, and when that came out, she did an interview on Mark Maron's podcast, which is really interesting to hear her side of it, because she's basically, she kind of brings all that up, like she was pushed down this certain route, but on the flip side of it, she's like, I turned out all right, I'm still fine, which is kind of like not what you'd expect, or it's not the usual horror story.
Right. I'm sure there are people with a lot worse stories that have gone through a whole bunch.
Yeah, but she came across great. It's really worth checking out because I think Mark Maron's a great interviewer. He just, the way he just lets guests go, he's fantastic. And yeah, she came across brilliant.
I'll have to check that out. Yeah, it's like I hardly ever get a chance to listen to podcasts like for fun. I'm always like listening for research. I just got this guy's giving me his book that I got to read, and like, and I don't even think we didn't even set a date for the podcast. So I'm like, I'm going to read the book and like hope that he still does the show. So it's kind of one of those things, but I feel like I'm always like prepping for some guest doing something.
What's your Guns N' Roses poster behind? That's new. That's new in the background. I spot it. It's like an old Guns N' Roses flyer.
Yeah, I just put that out there because I have this, I got the Appetite for Destruction, like the box set a while back. I think I just bought it on Amazon. I didn't get, there was one that was like $500, but I just got like the lesser one that was like 80 or something, but it's really cool. It's got all these like posters and things, and that's like an old let's see if I go that way. Yeah, it's like an old poster. I think it's like one of the first posters they ever made or something.
That's cool.
It's
where's the venue? Is it like the Whiskey or something like that?
Let's see what it says. Tomorrow night, welcome to the jungle. I don't know, it just has like an address. It might be like a house party or something.
That's cool, man.
So yeah, there was like some cool stuff like that in the box set, old pictures and stuff, like old like ticket stubs and things like that. Yeah, it's really cool. I love that old stuff, old Guns N' Roses stuff. And you can't, I mean, you can hear stories from other people, but the band members don't do a lot of interviews and talk about that era very much. You know, I mean, you have to find old interviews, I guess.
Yeah. Did you see any of the footage from they played the huge festival over here in the UK a couple of weeks ago, the Glastonbury Festival? I don't know if you saw anything about that.
Was it, how did they sound? How did Axl sound? Because that's the tough thing, is like he's been struggling, you can tell with his voice. I don't know.
It was weird because I mean everybody's an armchair critic these days, especially when a big concert's on TV and everyone takes to the internet. And it was weird for me. Everyone was like digging on Axl. And I thought Axl was one of the better things. Axl looked like he actually wanted to be there, whereas the rest of the band didn't.
Really?
Yeah. And
that's interesting. Yeah, because you think like, especially like the drummer and like the guitarist that's not the original.
Oh, Richard Fortus. Yeah, that's the weird thing.
Those guys would be like thrilled.
Richard Fortus looked cool, but like Duff and Slash, like until they got Dave Grohl on stage for Paradise City and Duff cracked a smile then. But for the rest of the set, they looked pretty miserable and didn't seem to play very well. Whereas Axl was like giving it 110%.
Sleep in their piles of money. Yeah. Axl, I think he's in his element. I mean, in that band, he's, you know, but like he's happy, but yeah, just sometimes I've seen some of the shows. The last time I saw them, it was like he was just struggling, and it sucks because I'm like, I love these songs, but I mean, you're thinking of you're talking about the most difficult songs in the world to sing, like, because he sang that stuff when he was in his prime, and when he really had they say like the best vocal range of any singer like ever, maybe. And so like, I don't think that lasts forever.
Yeah. It's weird. It's like, I said to a friend of mine, it's like, I think the 80s hard rock genre is the hardest type of music to grow old gracefully in.
Yeah. I mean, vocally, especially, but then also like with some of the looks, Like some of the rockers that age and then they try to still do the glam rock. It doesn't age very well. Like I feel like you gotta just kind of switch it up a little bit and go, you know what? Like I'm old now. Like I'm gonna cut my hair short maybe and grow a beard.
It's weird. Some manage it great. Some of my favorite bands still look and sound great, but then others, it's tough. I'm not going to name or throw anybody under the bus, but it's like,
okay, who are the ones that did it right then? Who are the ones that still look okay?
Alice Cooper's an anomaly because Alice Cooper's always looked like really old.
Well, yeah, and he can put the makeup on, so then it's like,
and he always has like a really cool young band behind him. I'm trying to think who.
That's a good point.
Kind of. I mean, Skid Row still bring it. It's not got the energy that it used to have, but it probably looks silly if there was like 50, 60-year-old dudes running around crazy. I don't know.
Well, yeah, and then they got the new singer, and he's really
let him do all the work.
Yeah, let him run around and go crazy. And yeah, he seems like amazing from what I haven't seen him live, but just that record. If Motley Crue made a record like that would be amazing.
If they've got Bob Rock producing it though, man, it's gonna sound massive. Hopefully they've got the songs and the hooks, because I've not been a fan of. I think you've mentioned you like Saints of Los Angeles. I didn't like that too much. It just seemed too.
I think it's okay. It's kind of like Chinese Democracy. Like there's songs that I like on the albums, but I think the first time you heard both of those, you're like, oh, okay. Like this isn't really what I was expecting. Like, I think if you had made that like side project and it said like featuring members of Motley Crue and Axl Rose solo record, and you listen, you go, oh, this is kind of cool. It's like, but it's not Guns N' Roses. The Chinese Democracy doesn't sound like Guns N' Roses. Saints of Los Angeles doesn't really sound like Motley Crue. So yeah, I don't know. It'll be interesting based on like what I've heard from that, and then like the songs they did on the Dirt, which again they're not bad, but it's not really Motley Crue. I'm not expecting it to sound like old school.
Yeah,
Motley
it's
Crue,
like
even though that'd be awesome if they did.
Yeah, it's like, how do you write stuff the same as you wrote 30 years? I mean, we're talking like 30 years ago now.
Skid Row did it.
Yeah, well, yeah,
because they had a great producer. That's what they taught. I had Snake on. He talked about that. How I forget the producer's name, but he would like throw songs out. He's like, this is a great song, but this is not Skid Row. And so then they would make it sound like that old school Skid Row stuff, which is, I think they just nailed it. I think they did exactly what their fans wanted, and it's perfect. So
super, man. Yeah, I saw them. When did I see them? It would be, I don't know if it was earlier this year, but yeah, it was great. It was a great show.
Yeah, I want to see. They're gonna do a tour with Buck Cherry here in the States, and they're coming in like October, which is crazy. They've already like I think the tickets are already available for an October show, so I should probably just go ahead and buy them. I don't think it's going to sell out, but that should
Buck Cherry are a machine when it comes to touring. They're like nonstop.
Have you ever seen them live?
Yeah.
I saw them once at like a festival. We went for someone else, and they're like, oh, Buck Cherry's here, sweet. And so we listened to them. I was like, damn, they're fucking good, because I love Buck Cherry, but it's one of those bands that you just don't. For some reason, I just never thought of like seeing live. Like I just never see the advertisements or whatever. I don't know. Like I'm much more like in tune with that stuff now, because I'm always like checking like to see what concerts are coming and stuff. Like I feel like if you don't check, then you just miss stuff.
Yeah. It's because it's that same thing. There's just so much stuff out there.
Yeah,
like so much music, but it's so hard to find something to listen to. It's weird.
Yeah, and sometimes like they'll tell you, like the Bulletboys show that I went to, like it was in like the small town, like 2 hours outside of Phoenix. And I found out about it just because the Bulletboys, they posted an ad about it on their Instagram. And then I went on the bar's website. There was nothing on the bar's website. Like I couldn't find, I'm like, how do I get the tickets? Like I didn't,
wow.
I think it was free. So that was one thing, but yeah, it was horrible advertising. I think there's a lot of probably shows that I've missed, stuff like that, especially if they add the date late, like, like, hey, we're going to be in Phoenix in 2 or 3 weeks or whatever. Yeah. And like, if you don't check the upcoming tours, venue dates or whatever, then you miss it. It sucks.
Yeah. It's not rocket science, is it? I don't know why these venues can't like put up some posters, get it on your website. Here's the ticket link.
And I think getting it out earlier, like, I mean, October, when they launched that, like, I think they mentioned it May or June. They're like, we'll be there in October. Like, that's almost overkill, but like, you got to give people at least like a month or so to find out about it and hear about it. And yeah, advertise it, put up posters online, all that stuff. Yeah.
Nuts,
I hope touring doesn't like end? I mean, so many bands are like, oh, we can't afford to tour anymore. It's
That's
like
a catch-22 because that's how bands make the money now because they ain't making it from record
right.
sales or streaming. So
some of these bands might just hang it up then.
who knows?
What about you?
Whole,
Are you doing any gigs or any shows?
nothing at the moment. Hopefully doing we have like this festival that comes over called Hard Rock Hell, which I'm playing with my friend Dave, his band Silverjet. We're playing that one, which should be good. I think trying to think who's playing. Midnight City are on that bill as well. I think Jetboy might be coming over. So I don't think I'll be getting the call to play bass for them, but it'd be hilarious if I did. And I'm playing on a different stage when your set is.
Yeah. Oh wow. It'd be cool if Midnight City toured the US. Like, of course, it's always like a band that I become a fan of, and it's like, oh, I can never see them.
Yeah, I know they're doing quite a lot of overseas stuff. So yeah, Unstoppable.
It's
Good on
possible.
them.
It's possible they could come to US, right?
Yeah,
they got on a package or like one of those Monsters of Rock cruise or something.
Yeah, I think that's what they're hoping for because that'd be ideal because it gets you in front of other people's fans. So
they'd be perfect for that. That'd be like they'd fit in perfectly with that lineup at the Monsters of Rock based on what the bands I've seen.
Yeah.
Would do those shows. I'd love to go to that. I mean, it's so expensive. It's like thousands of dollars.
Yeah, I've never done one. I'd love to do one though. It'd be cool.
It'd be worth it. I feel like at least once in my life, I feel like I got to do it.
There's so many of them now. There's tons of those cruises.
Is there? Well, there's Monsters of Rock, Shipwrecked, Legends of Rock, I think. Is there? What are the other ones?
There's all like country rock ones as well.
Oh, really?
All kinds of stuff. Yeah. I think
Kiss
all of them
Cruise?
would be cool. Kiss Cruise, yeah.
Yeah.
So Kiss have just played in the UK. They played in Manchester the other night and London, and I saw them a few months ago as well. I got free tickets.
Nice. I've never seen Kiss. I know that's crazy to say. I had tickets to see them on that reunion tour with Ace and Peter. It was all 4 original members, and that's when they put the makeup back on and everything. And for some reason they got canceled, so I got my money back. But yeah, I don't know what happened, but then just one of those things where I just never got a chance. I think I don't know. I mean, I feel like now I know so many Kiss fans because doing the podcast, you interview all these musicians and everyone's a Kiss fan. But back in Seattle in the 90s, like nobody else was a Kiss fan. It was weird. Couldn't find anybody.
You have to go to New York. When is it? Like Christmas time? They're doing the final shows at Madison Square Garden.
Yeah. No, it might be worth it. It might be worth. It's probably already sold out though, huh?
Maybe, yeah. I don't know what shows they got running up to it, if they're doing any US stuff before then, or have they done the entire US final leg? I have no idea.
Yeah, I don't know if they might have already hit Phoenix, so they probably have to do a road trip. Yeah, I feel like I should see the show just to.
It's good. It's a good show.
It's got all the fireworks and all that, right, and stuff.
Yeah. But
they are getting up there.
I don't know what ticket sales were like in the UK, but they was giving them away free the week before. It's like, just pay for the booking fee and then you get free tickets. I'll have some of them.
So what are they going to do if after they retire then? I feel like they're going to get bored.
Maybe, who knows? I mean, there's that whole story of where they were going to give us a new Kiss, which I thought was cool.
Whoa, you mean like they're going to like have new people take over the roles?
Yeah, hand over the torch.
Who would do it?
I don't know. Just get a young band. I think that's what they was thinking, but I don't know how many people would buy into that. They'd have to do some unique marketing strategy for it. Who knows?
Maybe I don't get why they don't do different characters.
Well, they did for a while, didn't they? Back in the day, like when a new member came, like Eric Carr and Vinnie Vincent, it was always the new makeup. But it's nostalgia, isn't it, mate? It's like when it came time to put the makeup back on. Well, obviously Ace and Peter came back, but then I don't know. How many? I mean, this is the age-old question, isn't it? How many people in that Kiss audience knows who's wearing the cat makeup and the spaceman makeup? Do they still think it's Ace and Peter?
Or do they care even?
Yeah, or do they care? Yeah.
I feel like if it's a band that, is on a festival or something and you're not really a big fan, and then you see them and you might not know it's not original members and stuff. But if it's a Kiss show and they're the headliners, I feel like you got to know who's in the band. I mean, I don't know. It's rarely where I go to a concert to see the headliner and I don't know who's playing in the band that's the headlining the show. Again, if it's an opening band or on a festival and I happen to catch it, okay, maybe I'll miss some of the lineup or I don't care. But you're going to see Kiss. Like, I don't know. That's weird to me.
So some people go to see the band, some people go to hear the songs. I think there's a difference there. So
that's true. That's definitely a point. And the songs might sound better with younger members.
Yeah. That's the whole Kiss argument right there. You can
and if Kiss does that, that's going to open up a whole new can of worms. Then Motley Crue is probably going to do that.
Yeah.
And all these other bands then will probably later go that route too. And especially if they can sell it somehow where they still get a piece of the action and they're just, using the name and they're giving it to these younger people, and then they can go retire or produce bands.
That's almost treading in the whole Quiet Riot debate as well. Like you got Quiet Riot now where there's you got Rudy Sarzo on bass, but for a while it's technically no one from Quiet Riot. But I can see both sides of that argument as well. And to be honest, I kind of favor the one which the band is pushing now, because if they don't do it, what happens? No one hears those songs. Those songs, other than the radio, you don't hear those songs live. So
I know exactly. Like, I mean, that's the same argument with like Pantera. I love Pantera. I saw them a couple times in the 90s, and then it was like, okay, the band broke up or whatever, and then I was like, all right, I guess I'll just never be able to see them live again or hear those songs. And especially if you weren't born or whatever, or you were too young, then you just never get to hear those songs. It kind of, it's an interesting debate. And especially when it's still the original singer. And so that's a huge part of the sound is the singer. And so you could, I guess the other thing is like, people don't like that they called it Pantera. I wonder if they would have called it like Pantera 2.0 or Pantera Redux.
Just Cowboys from Hell or something like that.
Ooh, I like that. That would be cool. Cowboys from Hell. Why not something? Yeah, because that's the thing is like the Abbott brothers formed the band, and they supposedly did not ever want a reunion. They wanted it to be done forever. So, but then the family members supposedly gave their blessing. So I don't know.
Strange one. I think it's an I don't want to say it's an interesting argument. I think it's an interesting conversation. All that kind of stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. It definitely is. Yeah. Like Quiet Riot is a perfect example. Yeah. Because
like Alex Grossi, who plays in Quiet Riot, he's been in there 20 years.
Yeah.
Surely he's got some stake.
Right. But it's like, yeah, I mean, exactly. It is weird. Cause like, then you just think, well, then the band's like never going to end, right? Because Alex Grossi could go for a while, and then they could get somebody else. And then, Jizzy Pearl could probably go for a while. And then, so they could just keep replacing people. I mean, it could literally just go forever. It is kind of interesting. Like, yeah, I mean, it sucks because there's some bands that like, and a lot of them are more obscure. Like when I had on the guy from Rock's Gang, I was like, dude, I love Rock's Gang. Like you guys are such an underrated band. I was like, are you ever going to tour or do some shows? Or he's like, nope, we're done. It's over. I'm not putting the leather pants on. I'd be ridiculous or something. I'm like, damn it. I go, what if I win the lotto? Can I pay you to do it? And he's like, well, yeah. Then of course. So he would do it for a price, but I mean, I'm probably one of like not very many people that would want to see that, but there's a lot of bands like that where you want to, it's like you said, you want to hear the songs. I'd even settle for like a cover band doing a few Rock's Gang songs. I think that'd be cool to hear.
There'd just be Chuck Shoot at the front losing his mind. Everyone else is
yes. Like, I'd be like, yeah, it'd be amazing. There's so many cool
songs.
Scratch
my what?
Yeah. There's got to be some like hair metal tribute bands or something that maybe some of would throw in a Rock's Gang song like that. That'd be cool.
Yeah, the more diverse the more left field hair metal songs.
Maybe we get Midnight City to cover a Rock's Gang song like that would be cool. They could probably pull it off.
Yeah. I don't know what Rob Stant is on Rock's Gang. He probably loves them.
Does he do any covers? Because that would be. I forget if I think we had this conversation. I can't remember if
I don't think we do.
Oh, because
we used to do a few in Teenage Casket Company, but
oh, really? Which ones did you do?
We did. Let me think. We did a song called "Hatred" by Degeneration. That's actually on
that band.
Yeah, that's actually on an EP. We actually recorded that one. We've done "Fight for Your Right to Party." We actually, when we first started, Rob and Jamie, the old guitarist, they did some acoustic shows with Mitch Malloy back in 2004. Mitch was doing his solo stuff, but he also had this project called, I never know how to pronounce it. It's called like Fluid Soul or something like that. Weird name. But on this EP he did, it had a track called I'm on Your Radio. And it's a great like power pop song. And we covered that in our set for a long, long time, which is really, really fun. I'm trying to think what else we've done.
Yeah, you had Mitch Malloy on your show.
Yeah, he's a good dude, man. He's really cool, super talented guy.
I reached out to him years ago, and he said, "Yes, I'll do your show." And then I did all my research, and I was like, "Already." And then he said, "Actually, I'm not going to do it." And I was like, "What?"
Yeah. Now's a good time. He's got a new album out. It's prime podcast time.
I got all the notes probably still. So yeah, maybe I should. I just feel like now he's done so many other podcasts, but I think he said no to me. And then shortly thereafter, I saw he had an article in Rolling Stone. I don't know why.
Probably because of the Van Halen thing.
I think it was right around the time that Eddie Van Halen died. So they did a story about his time with that. And so I was going to ask him about that and break the story myself. But then, I mean, I guess if you're going to get turned down, getting turned down for Rolling Stone is probably pretty good. This is probably a better move for his career, I'm sure. So
sweet, man.
Awesome. Well, you have to get going to dinner.
I got to go and get dinner, or I'll be in trouble from the wife.
All right. Well, thanks for stopping by and doing this. I like to chat a little bit.
Loved it. Well, I come back anytime.
All right. Yeah. I was thinking about you today because I was like, usually I try to do my live streams at night, and it's like 3 a.m. there. So I'm like, but I was like, hey, wait, it's Rob Lane's still awake.
8 p.m. I'm still awake. I'm still awake for another hour. Then old man will be going to bed.
No way. You don't go to bed at 9, really?
I'll probably be asleep by 9.
Okay. All right. Well, thanks for doing this, checking in. Let's then think of if there's anything else you want to go talk about. We could do like a top 10 hair metal albums or whatever countdown or something.
All over it. Or 80s movies. We'll go down in John Hughes time.
Oh yeah, you got to get going next time. We'll have to because I was going to ask you if you'd seen the new Indiana Jones because
not yet. I've not seen it yet.
Okay, yeah. When you see it, let's go live about that because there's definitely some things to talk about with that one. So
awesome, man.
All right,
all righty. Lovely to see you, mate.
All right, see you later.
All right, catch you in a bit, dude. See you later. Bye bye.
All right, so now it's just me. I don't know if anybody else wants to join. Looks like it's pretty slow. Okay, I'll go ahead and sign off. Let me know in the comments anything that you thought of our conversation. Pretty off the cuff, fun stuff. 37 minutes. Oh my gosh, I took way more of his time than I said I would. So, all right, thanks for watching, guys. See you later. Bye-bye.